Hey guys, first of all, I, I'm speechless. I really am speechless every single day because simply there is so much nonsense in this world that I can't even continue operating the way that I have in the past. And the reason is basically that through my Rhesus Negative Network, I'm finally finding out what it's like to have intelligent conversations with people who understand what you're talking about. And if they don't understand it, they will work on understanding it. And it gives you a new perspective on life. When you go back into communities where it's mixed with everybody, you realize just how unbelievably gullible people are. And, and a great example is, of course, my group, which is about politics and news. But, it's about politics with a deeper insight. We look at the media, at what the media doesn't show. And the thing is that people are unwilling to look at anything that they are not used to, anything that is too much away from the media, what the media says, even though people are supposed to realize that the media lies all the time, they still don't want to accept anything. It's really, really pathetic. And the other thing is religion. People who are rhesus positive, it seems to me, are always in need to imitate. It has to do with the, when you test positive, it means you have the rhesus monkey gene in you. And one thing that they say about monkeys is that they like to imitate. And basically by imitating, I mean that those people need to have a guideline in order for them to function properly and relate to, they need a role model at all times. They need a hero. They need somebody they can look up to and say, wow, I want to be more like this guy. While the people who are rhesus negative, they are free thinkers, by birth, by blood. It's something that's just within us, whether we want to or not. And it can drive us sometimes crazy to realize just how stupid the world around us really is. Now, about religion, I'm really, there's nothing really I want to say about religion other than that it is a mental cage for those who are unwilling and unable to evolve, really, and I have no idea. I mean, for all I know, the Jesus could have, I have no idea. But, people are almost forcing themselves into a belief in order to feel good about themselves, to feel good about their life. Now, we all have spiritual experiences, or many of us have. But the interpretation of that spiritual experience is usually something that has been indoctrinated. So, for example, in my case, when I was a child, I've made experiences there's no explanation for other than either synchronicity, whatever you want to call it. There is no coincidence in life. I don't believe that one bit. But the thing is that whenever I talk to people about it, which I no longer do unless they're really close friends and I know that they have a brain, people would interpret it for me. They would say, wow, Jesus just talked to you. That's Jesus. Why, wow, you have an A in history and normally you get an F or D. Jesus was there. No, I worked my ass off. That's what I did. So basically, whenever you have a spiritual experience and you talk about it in church or something, people will tell you it was Jesus behind it. And if you say, well, I'm not sure, then they start the fear mongering and they tell you about you either worship Jesus or Satan. And if you don't acknowledge Jesus, then it was Satan who helped you. You know what I mean? It's always going around in circles. It's always that. And the only people that I've learned to open up with now are people who are rhesus negative, who have more of, even the ones who are Christian or Buddhist or whatever, or Satanist, whatever, they have the desire to search for more. And that's one thing that's the biggest turnoff in religion is, of course, the stupid people and the stupid explanations for why I should believe in their religion. You know what I mean? And it's also the inability to step back. That's another thing I've learned in my rhesus negative community, that people don't argue. They state their belief, and if somebody doesn't believe the same way, they don't feel threatened by it. They don't take it personal. But it's almost like with the rhesus positives, it's almost like you put the monkey on a treadmill, you say, here, This is the religious discussion, and they will go for hours and hours and not accomplish anything. So basically everything that you see in life is one big waste of time, but the media is catering for that. The talk shows, the endless debates about nothing, 40 years of watching stuff that just goes around in circles. It's always perpetuating itself. But the majority of people doesn't wake up to that. 85% in the Western world is Rhesus positive. And that's who the media caters to. So while us Rhesus negatives are looking at it and thinking, wow, this is too stupid for words, how, you know, it's overpowering almost. But the thing is, the Rhesus positives are the gatekeepers. They are the gatekeepers, meaning that they basically, you know, they keep perpetuating, they do the work for the elite or the media, because they keep putting down anybody who doesn't agree with them, because it's in their mind, it's ingrained in them to feel threatened whenever you are smarter than them, or when you expose something that they feel powerless over, so to speak. So basically, Rhesus negatives and religion is going to be the title of this video. And I have just, again, you know, picked up somebody from my main group who I say, by the way, what's your blood type? Because I knew she's Rhesus negative. And she doesn't know, and she'll find out tomorrow. And I can bet you anything she's Rhesus negative. And she always said, I don't know what it is, but it's a rare blood type, so it's always Rhesus negative, you know. Now guys, how do I know this? It's usually by talking to people. And you just realize that you bring up some subjects that you normally don't talk about with people, because they're often too out there, so to speak, or they're too, they require too much thinking, or too much, you know, they're not the kind of topics that you would just talk about with anybody, because you know how people are. They say, oh, it's crazy, it's this, it's that. You see, they don't believe what the media says, maybe, but they still can't get away from it. Their mindset won't let them. You know, they're still, you know, and the one discussion we had earlier was the "Is Osama Obama" video, which basically, you know, examines the similarities between Obama and Osama, and then questions, you know, who is really Osama bin Laden? What do we know about him other than the 3 minutes of total footage on CNN? We don't know anything. Nothing. He could be anybody. It could be an actor portraying him. And the same with Barack Hussein Obama. There is no proof that Barack Hussein Obama has ever been born. So, you know, we're examining also that both men were spending time in the early 80s in Afghanistan. So with the CIA, both of them. So they must have met at one point. And now, you know, people comparing their hand lines and their facial features to see if maybe it's the same person. Maybe there was maybe this is the ultimate deception, that America voted for the terrorist, for the #1 terrorist or alleged terrorist in the world. And most people, they cannot grasp the concept, that possibility, because simply their mind won't let them. You know what I mean? Because they're too conditioned to even think about it. And I'm not even saying they're both the same person, but I'm saying they could be. And it opens up the door to new discussions. Who are these people? Why don't we know? And the real reason why we don't know is because you put the monkeys on a treadmill where they spin around within their own ideologies. You put in a little bit of racism and Muslims. The Muslim card needs to be played as well. And then you have the left versus the right, arguing with each other, when in reality everybody should come together and say, who the fuck is my president? Who the fuck is this guy? I want to know more. I know nothing and I demand to know more. But no, because they play with your emotions, and so they get you all wired up against one another, because it's black versus white, Christian versus Muslim, poor versus rich. And the whole time the elite on top of the world is laughing its ass off at how stupid you are, that you don't fucking look at what matters in the world. Thank you guys. This is Michael Damon for FireTown.com and RhesusNegative.net. Peace out.